Okay, her book is called Soul Speak. It's the language of your body. And it's based on my work, but it's her writings. It took a lot of her own hard work to put this together. But it's Soul Speak. Julia Cannon.
Thank you very much. I am truly honored to be here. So happy to see everyone here. We just keep doing better and better every year, and I am honored this time to be here with my own work. It's always been, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, and pushing and pushing, and you read the book, you'll see what I went through to get it. I am major resistor right here. Resistors Anonymous right here, okay? So it took a long time for this project to come to pass, but I think everything always happens in the right time as it's supposed to. I am one of Dolores' daughter. I'm daughter number 2, and when Catherine Andrews does her talk, I know part of what she does in Soul Choices is family order means something, so I'm looking forward to see what she has to say about that, so that'll be interesting. But I am daughter number 2, and about, it's been 10 years ago, roughly there. The universe stepped in, okay? I was merrily on my own little path, being a nurse and I was moved into management, running a home health agency, doing my nursing thing and all these things. And the universe said, you need to be doing something else. And I said, why? I'm fine right here. I'm perfectly comfortable. Why do I need to do something else? And they kept saying, you need to do something else. And this is what happened. We get messages over and over. And that's why I'm going to talk about that further. We hear them all the time, but we don't pay attention, we don't acknowledge, we don't act. Okay? I'm going to explain who we are hearing and what's going on. But I just want you to know this did not come easily, this book. Once I stopped resisting and I accepted my place with it, it went together so fast. And I mean, all the work, it was years. We're talking years of me dragging my feet and doing everything I could to keep it from happening. Then once I said, you know what, okay, this is it, I need to step into my place. Bam, 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 boom, everything beautiful. It went together so fast. Before then, I couldn't even get words to appear on a paper. But when it was time, it just goes. When I got out of the way, it went. So anybody else with resistance stories or going through their own resistance right now? That's who I'm talking to, okay? Anytime they make me dwell on a subject, I know there's at least one person in the audience that needs to hear it, okay? The things that I can do, like she was saying, this is based on Dolores' work. What I'm going to show you, this is based on that. But then it started taking on its own life through intuitive sources. Now, I developed intuitively, very, very subtly and very gradually through the years. I didn't even know anything was happening for the most part until recently. It kept getting louder and louder. When they started giving the messages, you need to go in a different direction, I could hear it and I was understanding that, and I was actually trying to make some moves. You could tell I was hearing that, but I was trying to do it my way. They kept saying, you've got to go to Arkansas. You've got to do a healing center in Arkansas is what they kept saying. I'm like, okay, healing center. I'll do one where I am. I was in Missouri. I'll do a healing center there. And I did what looked like a healing center to me. It made sense. It was a fitness center with a spa in it. Okay, that's right. That's my way. Okay. So that made sense. And I was going to put all these different healing modalities in there and stuff like that. And then they kept going, no, you got to do a healing center in Arkansas. Well, why do I want to do that? And then I got like 4 messages, 4 times. And this was over the course of 2 to 3 years. I mean, they give you time. Okay? Then on the 4th one, you need to do a healing center in Arkansas. And I'm like, now how on earth am I going to do a healing center in Arkansas when I'm in Missouri? That was the magic word, was how. They said, okay, fine, we'll show you how. Boom. Anybody get hit by the etheric 2x4s? Mine was a 10x6, okay? Boo, I'll do it my way. I was getting the messages, but I wasn't doing it what they're saying. Arkansas was a key. And I went through the whole thing. Now I get it. This is a book publishing company, but guess what it does? It heals. I mean, the stuff it puts out, and then the classes that we're involved in, everything that's going on. Guess what I'm involved in right now? Guess what I'm running? A healing center in Arkansas. I didn't create it, it moved me over there. Yes, it finally dawned on me just a couple of years ago, oh my gosh, that's what they were telling me. It's a healing center. I was just thinking, oh, I gotta do this. No, you just go. You just do it, and before you know it, you're there. You don't do the pieces and parts, you just go. Now, that's not normally how I start with this talk, but that's what they wanted me to say. So I don't know who needed that information, but there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. So, okay. What? Well, okay, she's reminding me I wasn't planning on going there. When you get hit by the etheric 2x4, or in my case, and it happens in many cases, if you do that, if you wait for it, if you wait for the universe to help you along, it's not pretty. If you would go ahead and act and do it before then and go with the flow, let the flow carry you to where what you're supposed to be doing. And I'll tell you, I always have an issue with that word supposed to be, supposed to. It's like somebody else is in charge of me. Can you tell I have an authority complex here, authority figure. I'm in the charge, I'm the boss, So anyway, but I'll tell you who's running the show, and that's what the supposed to be part is. But anyway, if you'll just go with it, it's all nice and smooth. If you resist, and wait for them to push you, it's not pretty. When I said, how will I be, and how would I do that? What they did was they plucked me out of this life and dropped me over here. Completely lost everything. Everything that resembled any life I had there, it was gone. I mean, they made sure. There's a steel door. I cannot go back there. So that's how they do it. They don't pussyfoot. It's like, you've got to be here and you've got to be there now. So you just buckle up. We're dropping you. We're going to do it. And it was a shock. So I'm here to tell you, it can be survived. I made it. I made it through it. But if you let it go to that point, it's going to be like that. It can be a little rougher, okay? There are easier ways to do it, and that's why I'm just telling you. You can go, just follow your guidance. Okay, when this material, when Dolores first started, when she was doing her classes and she's doing her sessions, as you know, if any of you following her work, it was history. She was just doing sessions. She was just doing past lives, okay? And then in the middle there, something else started happening, and that's where the subconscious started coming through, and then they started healing. And then as that started happening, then they're like, okay, well, somebody has this wrong. They were coming in with an ailment, whatever. And then the subconscious would explain what that was. And then she would just come home and she'd start telling me, look what's happening. They had this, and the subconscious said, this is what it means. And then they went about to fix it. And it was like, I have a nursing background. I was a nurse for more than 20 plus years with the home health agency and with all that stuff I did. I was in intensive care and did home health. So it was more than 20 years. And I love the body. It's a miraculous machine here. I'm fascinated by the body. So when she's coming home with this information, it's like, that makes sense. it all tied together. And I'll go into what those were in a minute, but it was like, okay, when this is going on, it means this, and that made sense. And then little by little, this was happening so gradually, and it always made sense. Then people would come up to me and they would say, just anybody, and they'd complain about aches or pains or whatever. And it leads you into, you start asking, I know what that means, you know, so I'd ask something, well, how's this going on? How's that? And they're like, how did you know? You must be psychic. Well, I am, but not there. Okay, it was like, no, you're just transparent because I know this language now. I know what these mean, okay? And this is a language that's being used by ourselves. I will go ahead and jump now. Where this information is coming from, granted it came through sessions. This is what started everything. About 4 years ago, in a class, they were discussing, and they're the subconscious and this part that she accesses and has all this information and all of this stuff. And I got this visual. Now this is one of the things that happens to me. I'm nothing special. This is happening to everybody. We are receiving information. The veil is thinning. Does everybody know what I mean by the veil? Fantastic. And we all know the veil is thinning, correct? This is an interactive thing. I like to interact with my people. Okay. All right. Yes, that veil is thinning. So as it does, our abilities are coming back. We have abilities. These are natural abilities. So, and they're going to come back in a number of ways. There's all kinds of ways to receive information. Mine that I happen to have, I can hear, I see visuals, I feel energy, and I know that I know that I know. And I don't know how I know. I just know. Okay? So those are 4. Now another one that a lot of people don't give much credit to are the goosebumps. You get the goosebumps? I call them truth bumps now. Because what they mean is when you get them, it means whatever you just heard or whatever you just said is truth. So, okay, so they're truth bumps. So, and I know everybody gets those. Because a lot of people go, I don't get any of that stuff, it's not happening for me. I guarantee you just start acknowledging it. Acknowledge the goosebumps, acknowledge any of it. We get information all kinds of ways. Acknowledge what you are getting, and that will open the door for more. A lot of people are afraid of this. Please don't be afraid of this. There's nothing to be afraid of. You've seen on the table out there, our Ozark table, we have these fear shirts because that's one of the things we really, really, really want to get out there is fear. There is nothing to fear. Fear is not real. Fear is an illusion. Fear is for entertainment purposes only. Okay? It is purely anything that looks fearful is something we created to entertain ourselves. Because we are the creators of our universe. We do everything. Everything in your world you have put there. Everything that's there. So look at that. If you don't like something that's there, who's in charge of that? You are. We are. And something you don't like, you're probably trying to teach yourself something. What is it I'm trying to learn from this? What is it I need to know from this? What am I doing here? Why did I create this? Okay, the same way with your body. Now let me go back with, as this information started coming through. So in this class, they're discussing all these things, and I got this visual. And this was in Sydney, Australia when this happened, just for whatever, Sue. And I got this visual, and it was like, oh, that's cool. That explains everything. And they said, well, draw it. I said, no, I got it. Draw it. Anybody been yelled at by them? Show of hands, come on, it's okay. Yeah, see? They will yell. Yeah, double hands. Exactly. They will yell. Remember, they got to hit you over the head sometimes. And this is, you yell too. Okay, yeah. Exactly. Someone, come on, tell me something. Sometimes they have to yell to get through the thick heads. They're constantly talking, trying to guide, and we do not listen. And we're going, why won't somebody help me? Why won't? They're constantly trying to help. We just don't listen. We're just thick-headed. Okay, and we're stubborn, and we're whatever. We resist. All right, so this came out. So I drew the drawing for myself, and it was good because they fine-tuned my drawing. And that was very important. And then I shared it with someone after the break, and they said that explained everything perfectly. And while I was explaining it to this person, what I got, someone from clear across the room came over and said, that one thing you just said, that's what I was trying to understand, and that explained everything. So I feel like, if they yell at you, it's something that's very important. There's a reason to do that. And go ahead, just do it. That may not make sense at the time, just do it, because there is a bigger reason. In this case, it was that someone else needed this information and there was no other way of getting it to them. So, and then ever since then, I draw it for the classes, and it really helps make sense of this part that they're dealing with. Now for this, what I want to do is I'm going to draw this because it helps you understand who you really are. We think we're this. And I know this crowd is totally different. I know you realize you're more than this. But I want to go a little further with this as far as what we're doing. In this drawing, what they showed me, and I'm going to draw in here this dot, that would be actually the perspective of closer to the perspective, but it's probably difficult to see that, correct? Yeah. And I'm going to try to get right back on that place. Okay. That is you. That's you sitting here. That's this body. That's this point of consciousness. This is who you think you are, this body. Okay? This is who you really are. I call this big me and little me. Now, big me decided to have an experience on this plane. And the way to do that is through some kind of physical formation. It may be a body, it may be a plant, it may be an animal, it may be a rock, it may be air, it can be anything. It's big me says, I want to have an experience. So let's just go down there and let's just see what I can do. So they drop a little bit of big me into this body. Okay, right now that's what you are, is an expression of big me. Dropped into this plane. I'm going to, in the book I go into a little bit more, and in the classes I actually go into a whole lot more. But what I want to do right now, because what I would do is, one of the important parts is that the person sitting next to you, that's them. There's their big me. And then here's another person. And their big me. And so that you see, what do you see happening there? You're all connected. We're all connected. So where have we heard that before? We've heard that statement, correct? That's what makes that truthful. We are all connected. The only point of supposed separation, oh, I get to use this little red pointer for the first time. The only point of supposed separation is right there. The point that drops down into this physical experience. Everything else knows it's connected, but this part thinks it's all there is. I'm alone, I have nobody, I'm just here, and nobody loves me. Okay. That's the other thing that part loves to do, is drama. Okay, so now in this we have big me and little me. Up here at the top is what I see breathing, and this is where I'm going to try. This is a 2D plane. No matter how fancy we get, it's still a 2D plane. I've been told this is a 6D drawing. That is difficult to draw a lot of dimensions on a 2-dimensional plane, but I'm going to do my best. I draw this as a wavy line. If it shows up there, well, we'll do here. Because I see it breathing. Okay, so that's a dimension. And then big me melds up here. Now, the wavy line on top is God, or source. Whatever you refer to as the all, okay? Now, if the big me melds with the source or with God, what does that mean? You're God. We are God. That's why that is a truthful statement. Okay? You with me? All right. I will go ahead and take this another step. Like I said, everybody's here having experiences and expressions and doing different things. Let's say here's a little dog. It's little Mushu back there. Has everybody met Mushu? Is he still back there? Okay. There's a little me, big me. Feel connected to your animals? You can communicate. This with this thing. See, we're always connected. You can communicate with anyone, anywhere. I love to do when I'm on trips, and I do travel a lot. I have 2 cats and 3 dogs and fish. Okay, and I trust them to other people to take care of them when I'm gone. When I first started leaving, my one cat, which is the one I've had the longest. How many cat people here? Yeah, you'll understand this. I'd come home and she just. I don't know you. You left me. I have nothing to say to you. I'm just. No. It took about 2 weeks for her to even talk to me. The other dogs are always happy to see you. They don't care. But this one cat was just like, I don't know you. So by an accident, one trip, I just happened to connect with the animals. I went in and checked on them energetically. I thought, someone just said, oh, it's something you can do, and so I tried it. And I think someone else calls it remote viewing. I didn't know it had a name. I just went energetically to my house, and I just went and I started petting all my animals and things like that. Next time I came home, you never would have known I was ever gone. My cat was just right there, and now every time I'm gone, I do that, and they're always, in fact, they just know. They know, and they hold the energy for me. They've told me, and they are right there. In fact, that one cat runs up to greet me every time. She runs up like a dog, you know, you're here, yay. So just try it. This is part of the don't be afraid of it. Just play with it. These are things we can do. We're not confined to here in this one place. You're energetic. You can go anywhere you want to, and you can go do anything you want to. So you can connect to your animals, and that's why we're all connected. You just tap into the energy. Here's, let me find another color here, yellow. Here's someone on the other side of the world. How many people in here are energy workers? Do work with energy? Okay. How many work remotely or at a distance? How hard is it to work on somebody on the other side of the world? It's not hard at all. Not hard at all. In fact, I find it easier than when the person's right here in front of me. And I don't know if it's something if the waves are amplified or something, but it's like it seems stronger with them also. Well, what you're doing in these situations, and I'm going back and forth between my cool toys here. So you're tapping in. Okay, let's say you're red, remember? So you're tapping in to the energy, and you go right to them. You're just bam. All you have to do is feel their energy. You know their energy. Even if you've never met them, you know their energy. There's something about it. You just focus on them. It could be their voice. They have a frequency. You know, they're always saying everybody has a frequency. In Dolores' books, if you've read any of those, that's what they talk about. You don't have a name in heaven. You don't have a name, whatever. You have a frequency. Well, that's what you're doing. You're learning people's frequencies, and you know it. You feel it, you just go. And you can tap right in, and you can do whatever is necessary if they want it. If they want to be with you, if they want help, if they want anything, you can communicate. But that's how you do it. Now, just real fun and quick, let's take it one more level up. Here's a being on a craft. Here's a being in another dimension. Where else can we put beings? Anywhere.
In a parallel life.
In a parallel life, thank you. Just anywhere. There are no limitations. We are all connected. See, we're not separate. Okay? So you can connect with anyone, anything, anytime. These beings, there's beings all over the place. in craft. Their crafts are constantly around and they're off in other planets. You can talk to other planets, so that would be a being on another planet. You can talk to other dimensions, yeah, that'd be another dimension too, it's parallel life. Anyway, there are no limitations. We are now able to understand this, or we couldn't have, let's say 10 years ago. Oh my gosh, we'd be going, what? But all you have to do is tap in, and you can talk to them. They're happy to talk. They're happy to communicate. It's when we are up to that point and not afraid. Not, oh boy, that came in. Not afraid. Do not be afraid. If you have fear, this will not happen for you. Okay, somebody needs to hear that because that was strong. This is one of the things that happens. Once I understood what was coming through and what was happening, I just allow it. And this, what happens with me is, see, your big self, big me, is always trying to talk. Always to, and remember, it brought a little piece to have this experience. Now, another thing that it does is when you are trying to listen and you understand, you're just tapping in. You're tapping into the big part of you that has the answers, that has the information, that has the big picture. Okay? So you can hear them. That's one way to get the information. The other way is what I'm going to talk about next. But you can hear them, and it's just you opening up to you. So when I was saying earlier that you know, they'll give you messages to do something you're supposed to be doing. It's because you came into this life with a plan. You, big me, said, I'm going to have an experience, and I have a plan that I want to do. I have certain things I want to accomplish, and I want to do these things. So you are trying to get those things done with the aid of big me. It's you helping you, is what I'm trying to get across here. Understand that? It's you helping you. When you're not listening, then you are going to find very creative ways to get the message through. You're constantly delivering messages. We'll say constantly sending messages. Probably the definition of delivering is when it is actually received. Okay? Constantly sending, 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 sending. Until it is received, they cannot go away. It has to keep sending. Once it is received, then they, okay, done. Don't need to send it anymore. Now, I'm going to the next visual that they gave me recently, and they told me to start drawing this. And this is one of the things, they don't care who they give their messages to or who they give their directives to. They do not give them to artists, okay? They don't say, only artists can draw my messages. No. You'll understand that in a minute, okay? The next thing they said, okay, I want you to draw a maze. I'm like, how do I draw a maze? Close? Anyway, you know the idea, right? You have to go through here, and the goal is to make it through to get out, correct? And you'll run into a bunch of walls and everything. And these are, you know, you've seen these mazes. They have really, really high walls. You can't see around them, so you're bumping in. You're bumping into walls constantly. You know, and you're going back and forth, and you get lost, and you get frustrated, and oh my gosh, what am I doing? Oh no, I can't see where I'm going. And sometimes we just sit down and say, I give up. I can't get out of this maze. There's no way out. I'm just going to sit down and just stop. That would be termed stuck. Okay? We get stuck. Now, when you're in a situation like that, or you're going, and it's okay, you might be bumping along the walls. Remember, that's an experience. That may be an experience you want, is to do a lot of wall bumping. It's okay. It doesn't matter how fast you get through this maze. Your objective is to do certain things and get through the maze. If you're choosing to not listen and take your time and take the scenic route, that's okay. It's not a race. It's your choice how to do it. But if you knew that, I mean, from this angle, I have walls that I can't see around or see over or see through or anything, and I just have to process of elimination, make a whole lot of mistakes and things like that, and maybe I'll get through. You're doing that way. We have another thing that you have set up for yourself, and that's big me. It's sitting here with this overview. Remember, it sees the big picture. So it's got this nice overview. It sees your maze. It sees exactly what's there, and it sees exactly the course you set up for yourself, exactly the experiences you wanted, exactly the way to go. And it's out here seeing you bump, 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 all these walls. And it's like, I can help. Let's go this way. And it's trying to send you messages. I mean, it can talk to you. You can have it any way you want to. You set this up before you came in. It says, okay, I know when I come in, I won't remember I have a big me. When I come in, I won't remember what's going on, that I know anything. That this is a game, this is a maze, this is whatever. We'll call it a game. I like calling it a game. I'm not going to remember those things. So Big Me says, okay, I'm going to be talking to you, and I'm going to tell you how to get through here. I'm going to tell you when you're bumping in a wall, or when you need to go left instead of right, or when you need to do whatever. But it's up to you to hear me. I can't make you hear me, but you can hear me if you want to, and if you will. Because they'll talk to you directly. That's what I said, I hear. I don't always listen, but I hear, okay? There's very distinct difference. So we're running into all these walls or things. So they're out here, they can do it that way. Now, if you're not listening, and you really, big me, let's pretend I'm big me, and I got little me down there running around and doing all these things, and I really want them to understand, because I really have this, I want to get accomplished here. I really have these experiences I want this little me to have. So they're not listening to me. So what would maybe be another way I could communicate with little me? Hurt you? I mean, like somebody's can't communicate. What other things might you do to communicate with them? Can't hear. Messages. Yeah, you might write things. They may be able to see, but they can't hear. You might write things. How many get messages that way all the time? Right, we see big, bold signs. Guess who's trying to talk to you? Then we might do sign language. We might do hitting them over the head with a 2x4, if it gets really urgent. Okay, there's different ways of communicating. So you do whatever you can to get through to that little me. They're just running around in circles and not understanding. If they would just slow down, tap in, they could hear you perfectly well. But first they have to know that that could happen, and they have to believe that. So let's say none of that's happening yet. So what's another one wonderful way for big me to communicate to little me? And how would that work? They're saying create an illness. Well, no, I'm not talking about that yet. Somebody might say, well, what on earth does that have to do with anything? Remember, big me came into this body, put a little piece of itself into this body. These bodies are machines. These are miraculous machines. Yeah, they're biological. They're really cool machines, but they're machines. They're machines that we chose to house ourselves in. And they are designed to never get sick, not grow old, never have any aches or pains, and live as long as you want them to be alive. So, and you're going, well, wait a minute. One, we have all this illness, we have all these diseases, we have all these people suffering, and we have all these people getting old. So that doesn't make any sense, and how does that work? This is because you are communicating. The body, like I said, is designed with this in mind. It's never to have these things happen. So, big me said, hey, here, you've got this mechanism that you're housed in. You are with it constantly. 24 hours a day, every minute of the day, you are with this body. So what better way to communicate to you from, I have intermittent, I can put things in there, or I can communicate with you through your body. You're with it all the time. Now, if we would have been taught this when we were little, we would know that when something is off, it's you communicating. But because it's so later, we've got all these things that have been going on and on, we don't know when the body's off. It's normal to have aches and pains and all. Watch TV, they'll tell you. I promise, they'll tell you. And they've got a pill for every single one of those things. So that's where we become numb to this communication system. But we set this up. Now it starts very subtly, little aches and pains. And if you don't listen, it's just like my message with the moving. I didn't listen, it got louder. It was a little more of a push they were trying to make. I started to do something, but then I didn't listen. And then finally, they just had to get louder and louder and louder. This is your communication system of last resort. Okay? They've been trying talking to you. They've been trying sending messages. Now we got to talk through this. This is the last resort. If you don't hear this, you're not going to hear. Okay? So it's as it gets more and more and more and more. So you might have more, that's where something becomes chronic. You've had a message trying to be delivered for a very long time. Everything that is happening to the body, every ache, pain, illness, disease, anything, it's a message. Trying its hardest to get through. It's just a matter of you, it's just like I said, it's sending. It's sending it in a way of, it's a message, I'm doing it in this way. We'll talk in a minute about how they work, how it means, and it's so clear. But until you understand it, till you get it, what it's saying, it's just an acknowledgement, then you go, oh, what are you trying to tell me? You start understanding. See, the message delivered, now you act on it. No more need for the message. So what happens? If the illness was a message, if the disease was a message, if it's gone, what does that mean? If the message now is gone, you're cured. You're healed. Hallelujah. There's no more reason for it. See, it's that simple, but people are like, I've been healed. No, it's that simple. You finally received your message. You got it. You understood it. You acted on it. Wonderful. There's no more need for it. It's that simple. We have just made it so complicated. We made it, illness is what we are here to overcome. We must fight these things. We have to fight cancer. We have to fight. No, you have to understand what it's trying to tell you. And once you get it, there's no more need for it. And it goes away all by its little self. No fighting. In fact, fighting what you resist persists, correct? So if you fight something, what happens to it? It gets worse. Yeah. So watch what you do with things. You want to, in fact, if you read stories where people have overcome major illnesses or major, like especially cancer and things, what you'll find is they got to a point, they stopped fighting and they started embracing and they started learning what is it they start living life. It's like a lot of them, they don't fully know this part of it at all. They just start seeing, they shift their lives and they go, you know what, I just started seeing my family, my loved ones or whatever. I started understanding what they were really there for, what they got messages. They got it in a different way and they shifted. And that's all it took. And then a miracle recession, or what is it called? I just went blank. Remission, yes, remission, thank you. And they're like, well, we don't know what happened. Well, you shifted. You shifted everything that was going on that was supporting that. Now it's no more need. Message delivered, received, done. You did whatever you needed to do, and it could be that was all. You had to just shift your position in life. You had to shift the focus. You had to shift something. You just weren't on the right path. There's a lot of ways to be on the wrong path. Most of the messages, most of the things that are trying to come through are things to get you on your path. Remember, I said sometimes you're stuck. Sometimes it's just to get you moving. We're just stuck. We stopped. I don't know what to do. I'll just stop. So sometimes we're getting big pushes, okay? Getting kicked in the batucas. And a lot of us, I'm guilty of this too, I don't know what to do, so I won't do anything. And I'm just going to sit here until I know what to do. Well, if you'll just do anything, remember, this is physics. An object in motion stays in motion. An object, it takes more energy to get an object going, but an object going is easier to direct than an object that's not doing anything, okay? So if you'll at least do something, do some kind of movement, it may be in the wrong direction, but at least you'll be moving, and then universe can, okay, now we can give you directions again. We can tell you to go left instead of right. But when you're stuck, you won't go anything. You're just stuck. You're not moving, okay? So a lot of your messages will be to move, get moving, move in a different direction, do something. A lot of times we give up. And when you give up, what is it you're trying to do? Remember, this is a game. When you give up, game over. So you're trying to leave the game. Ooh. Many of your diseases, you're just trying to get out of that game. You're sick and tired of the game. I want out, I want out, I want out. I'm tired of this, I don't know what to do. What is it? You're not listening. You set up a really, really nice game plan for yourself. But because you're not listening, you just got lost. And you got confused, and you got stuck, and you don't know what to do, and you just want to go, I quit. How about we just stop, and I'll start over in another scenario, in another whatever, and it'll be better then. Well, just start listening. Let's follow this guidance. We'll get you back on track. Get you back healthy. Then you have a wonderful body to have this wonderful experience in that you set up for yourself to have. Okay, so if you're going to communicate through your body and you're going to talk to it, like I said, a lot of the messages are to move, get moving, or move in this direction. So what might that look like in the body? How might that manifest in the body? Okay, let me go from another direction. If you have aches, pains, illnesses, anything with the hips, knees, ankles, feet, legs, what might that be telling you? Okay, and Farron, I'm going to give you a warning. I'm going to move around this stage, and I was told not to move beyond this spot, but you need to see your locomotors. Okay, I will stay in my spot. I realize what happened now. Okay. That's them making a point. Okay. Your locomotors. So anything with them has to do with your movement, right? Movement in your direction. Movement somewhere. Movement, period. So sometimes when it's the feet or ankles, I mean, this is so literal. That's what's beautiful about it. The message might be, maybe you're afraid to step out. Maybe you're afraid to step in the right direction or in your direction. Step into your power. Oh, that was a strong one. Anybody? I know, I don't even have to ask. Okay, it came through like they need this one. It was almost like, okay, there's somebody, it was like rubbing it in your face. You power. Okay. It's okay to be powerful. We are great and powerful beings, and you need to know this. Okay, this isn't me talking right now, please understand. They will slip in all the time. We are great and powerful. We forgot, and you must know this. To do this game, You had to be great and powerful. You could not come here with anything less. You could not step on this planet with anything less than being a great and powerful manifester, a great and powerful being. So please understand your power, and it's okay to be powerful. Each and every one of us is. It doesn't mean, I'm powerful and you're not. We are all powerful. That's why I said these abilities are coming. These are our natural abilities. These are things, this is nothing. This is nothing compared to what we're used to having. We're used to being out there creating universes. And then we're over here, I don't have enough money. How do I get more money? I can create a universe. I can create anything I want. You've got to have that attitude. Please start going, I can do anything I want. I'm a great and powerful being. I can manifest anything. Money, that's nothing. That's a snap. I can have whatever I need. I have whatever is necessary to be here and having this experience. Okay, that was a slip in there. Somebody needed that. Your feet, your legs, their movement. Okay? Right side means now. Something happening right now. Left side means it's something from the past, in this life or another life. So let's say you have something going on with your left side. Maybe it's your knee or your hip or whatever. It's saying something from your past is maybe holding you back from moving in the direction that you would like to go. And remember, this is big you helping guide little you. So this is a direction that you really would like to go. It's what you set up. So something from the past. It may be something someone said, something that happened, anything like that. Somebody pushed you down when you had big dreams, and they said, you can't do that, you'll never do that. What are you thinking? You're stupid, you're crazy, or whatever. That's those little recordings that go on. That's where it's telling you where it's coming from, so you can talk to it and deal with it. You know what? That's not true. That's when you can talk to it. This whole process is, what do you want me to know? This is helping you understand where it's coming from. Okay, it comes from the past, or it's right now. Maybe you have a job situation or something is going on, maybe a marital situation that's holding you back, or it's not what you really want to be in or where you want to be, and you know you're supposed to move, but you're afraid. Your legs are going, will you please do something? That's all they're doing, just move. You're supposed to step out of that, or you're supposed to step into something new. See how only you knows what the message is. Only you knows your life and knows what's going on. So we can look like psychics, but all it is saying, hey, your body's just trying to tell you you're supposed to be doing something different. I can get indicators, but only you knows what they are, and you do know. In fact, that's the first thing you say. If somebody says, I don't know. What they're really saying is, I do know, I just don't want to do what I have to do this, okay? So, I don't know isn't a reasonable answer anymore from here on out, okay? No more excuses. You now know you are great and powerful beings. You can do anything, and you know everything. Okay, so I don't want to hear it from you. Anyway. Okay, so let's see some other things. I'm going to watch my time because I want to be sure I get in. We'll talk about some ailments and stuff in a minute, but Dolores really wants me to talk about cancer, because I forgot it one time, and it's very, very important because so many people have it. Cancer is unresolved anger. Wherever it is, if it's cancer, it's unresolved anger. Where it is in the body will tell you what it's about, what you're angry about. But it's unresolved. The person cannot talk about it. They just hold it in. They will not talk about it. It's everybody else has a problem, not me. I'm my own perfect person, and I'm just going to hold it. And I'm not going to say, if they could just talk about it. Maybe somebody that doesn't talk about their personal feelings or doesn't talk about things, but they're angry about something. Okay? There's a lot of different ways. One time this person said, I've forgiven everybody. I've done all my work with everybody, and I still have cancer. I don't understand. I've done everything. And when I went in intuitively and looked at it, what she had now done, yes, she had forgiven everybody that was part of the little scenario that she had set up there, and she wasn't angry at any of these people. There was nothing there, but she was now angry at cancer. And cancer, because she was angry at it, now became a little being, a little entity. That was weird. It was about this tall. It was blue. And it was telling me, she turned her anger to that. Because I'm a good person. I'm not angry at any of these people. I've forgiven them. I've done my part. But she's still angry at this, why are you here? What are you doing? So see, she probably never forgave herself. Because that's another vital ingredient. You have to forgive all the players in this little game you set up here. So she now turned everything to this cancer, and it created a little entity that was attacking her, okay? So when I saw it, it was like, oh my goodness, I wasn't expecting that. And so it said, what I was told is she just needs to love it. She'll just embrace it. And remember I said people have remarkable remissions? They shift, and all of a sudden they embrace their disease. They embrace the whole process. And then they're just healed. All of a sudden it just goes away. And that's what it's saying. If she'll just embrace me and just love it to death, then I'll be gone. And that's what she had to do. So in other words, she had to work with the disease itself. And that was going to be her. Okay, she was going to have to forgive herself. I don't know. I just told her she had to love it. And so that was going to have to be embracing this whole process. And in the process of it, it would show her how she's able to heal. See, a lot of times that's what things are. They're to show you the healer inside of you. Because when you can do that for yourself, you are of tremendous help to others and helping them through their processes and understanding their messages. Okay. Now, let's move on to some other things and ways that the body will talk. If anybody has any questions, we have about 7 minutes. And, but let's do some things that are common. Let's say the throat. Anything to do with the mouth, the throat, jaws, all of that. What might it be trying to tell you? Yeah, what does that have to do with? Speaking, right? Right. So there's something you need to be saying. Something you really want to say and you're not doing it. Speak your truth. There's something, okay? Say that again?
What if it's just on your face?
Just on the face. Well, it depends on the face. What does the face do? I love this when it comes up. What does the face do? You look at what does that part do? I mean, it's beautiful. The face is how you present to the world. The skin at large is how you present to the world, but especially the face. It's how you present. One person that the message came through for, they had like a rosacea all over their face, and this has come through for a lot of people with when they have something, it's like it's trying to deface them in some way, okay? And what came through then later on a session was that when this one person, when they were born, the mother really wanted a boy, and the girl, she was a girl, and the mother was just, I must have a boy, I must have a boy. So she was like, she was trying to deface herself because her mother didn't want her. See, it could be something like that we're, oh my gosh, and that came from birth. But it could be something going on and just trying to hide, just trying to, just something, okay, when it's the face, because the face is how you present. So it's trying to either mask, sometimes it's a mask. All right? What are some other common things? Diabetes. Okay. What does diabetes have to do with? It's right. That's the exact answer. You're cheated. But it's true. It has to do with their sugar regulation in the body, correct? So its metaphysical translation is sweetness in your life. So diabetes represents lack of sweetness in your life, lack of joy, lack of love, okay? And that usually, a lot of times, there'll be some heart conditions in there. What does the heart represent? Love. It's the seat of emotions. So if you've got heart conditions, and seeing the exact heart blockage, I mean, that's so literal. if you have blocked arteries of the heart, you've blocked down that chakra, you've blocked down that emotion, you've blocked down the love. Okay? Does that make sense? It's that literal. So, we're going to say it's 95% of the time it's that way, but then there are other things that could also be. There are exceptions, and that's what the book goes into. Some of these exceptions that Dolores found through her sessions, it's not always down this road, but it's always, when you see it, it makes sense. It always has to do with this subject in this way. Head injuries, headaches, I'm sorry, I jumped ahead. Headaches, migraine headaches. Well, and then this one, I know it leads you because I've been doing things for now, but let's take it to a past life, because migraines are almost always from a past life. Head injury. Okay, we're going to finish this one, okay? So it's like a way you died. It could be a head injury from a past life, okay? So it's something is triggering it now. It could be the same age, circumstance, people, something is happening now that's bringing back this memory of how you died in another life, and it's a message coming through. It's like something is trying to remind you of. Okay, and what were you saying? She's talking about digestion. What? Okay, we're talking about the stomach specifically, or the intestines? Intestines. Okay, and that's what do they do? They digest. They digest food. Okay. Well, what is it we tend to do with messages, with information, with knowledge, with situations? We digest them, correct? We have to digest them to be able to process them. That's part of our processing. So if something is going on that we're not okay with, we might have trouble digesting it. So that's where it's going to hit here. Sometimes if you're holding your emotions in, so you're not processing your emotions, you're not digesting your thoughts, your things, okay? So that's how these things are talking. Another big one, let's see, your back, your shoulders. Yeah, what do your shoulders do? What do you tend to do with your shoulders? You carry things on them. In the old days, we used to carry things on them. Now, we don't so much. So things happening there, if you've got real tightness and soreness here, and then it's expressing itself down the back, what is that? Carrying a load, a lot of burden, a lot of responsibility. Maybe you don't know how, or you're afraid to release, and there's a word, delegate. I was like, see, I have issues with that, delegate. I don't know how to do it. So, guess what I have? But that's what's trying to tell you. We let go and start delegating. Other people can help you carry that load. You're carrying too much. These are just ways that your body's trying to talk to you. Joints. Yeah, it's the joints. Those are usually where, because that's flexibility. Your joints represent flexibility in a piece, right? So depending on that part of you, then when it's going into that joint, it's talking about the flexibility to do these things. So, and those, because that's the movable part, that's the easy part to get for the message. So let's say, when you're saying joints in general, it depends on where it is. When it's in the legs, hips, knees, okay, we'll get to that. Then it's movement in the right direction. She's saying in the hands, as in rheumatoid arthritis of the hands or something like that. What does that look like when rheumatoid arthritis locks in? Right, that's what it's trying to tell you. You're holding on to something. It's time to let go. Okay? Does that make sense? It's literal. It is so, I love how literal it is. I just love it. Okay, tremors, and a lot of these things in general, she's asking about tremors, like of the hands and everything. A lot of them, it has to do with energy, and maybe too much energy coming into the body. So we have to look at it specifically, but a lot of your seizures, and a lot of your, I can't think of which diagnosis it is that has, yeah, epilepsy, thank you. you'd never know I was a nurse, would you? I'm like, well, see, can you believe? I let go. I finally let go of that life, and I don't know. But these are things, these are situations that what I was shown many times is when the person came into this life, they said, you know, I'm here to do great things, and I want to bring this energy in, and I want to help all I can. Bring it on. Give it to me. And they have actually too much energy coming in. Too much big me is coming in, and it's overwhelming the body. And so it's kind of like a short circuit's going on here. So that's where you just have to say, you know, a little too much. Let's turn it down. You can see it as a dial. You can do it however you want, but a little too much. Let's turn it down, and it calms down. Okay? Yeah. Okay, we're actually out of time. I'll be happy. I'll just address that very quickly. She was asking about Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is where the energy is leaving. The person is leaving their body, and they're taking little by little to help those around them and themselves adjust, but they are actually exiting. And this is their nice, kind way of doing it, so that everybody can get accustomed to it and be okay with it by the time it happens. I thank you very, very much, and I'm truly honored to be here, and thank you. And I'm happy to answer any more questions later. Yeah. You're not here. Mm-hmm.
Go on a long time talking about the different illnesses. She's listed them all in her book, Soul Speak, and it has them all in order. You can understand it to get to know your body. She's going to be over here signing books. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.